Hello guys and welcome back to Excelsior Academy. So again, I'm back with the Watson summary series. Sorry for the delay in between. I've got a small kid and taking care of him actually makes me exhausted. So sometimes I'm not able to take the classes. So here I am able to make the PPT for you guys. And yes, so let's continue with the genome structure, chromatin and the nucleosome. So in the previous, we already talked about what is the genome complexity, whether the diversity increases with the genome size or not, what are nucleosomes, histone proteins, etc. We have already discussed. Okay, so let's further move in this chapter. Okay, so guys, still if any doubt is there, you have got the Watson with you guys, and as I mentioned already, this is the 7th edition, so you can also follow the same edition, and if any doubts are there, you can comment me in the comment section, right? So in today's topic, we are going to talk about higher order chromatin structure. So what does it mean? So from this, it's very clear that the chromatin, what we see in the electron microscope, okay, how exactly it has been packed and how compaction is achieved. That is what we are going to discuss in this session. Okay. So before we proceed, so what is heterochromatin and euchromatin? This is very simple. I have not gone to the details because already we know what is it. So heterochromatin, it is characterized by the dense staining appearance. So we know that in the chromosome, mainly it is the centromere and the telomere which actually gets the dark staining. So you might have seen in the karyotyping also most of the time if chromosomes are like this. So we see that this regions, which is called the telomeres, are highly darkly stained, and then you have got the centromere at the center, right? So these are the telomere which actually gets the dark staining, and then we have got the centromere which actually gets the another dark staining. Okay, and then euchromatin has a lighter. So these are the regions where the dense packing is not being done, and these regions are the regions where the DNAs are loosely packed and the gene expression can take place. For example, the replication, transcription, whatever is happening is actually taking place at the euchromatin region. Okay, so heterochromatic regions of the chromosomes have limited gene expression, whereas euchromatin will have the higher gene expression. So this is what just now I have just mentioned. Okay, so moving on to the further. Okay, one second. Yeah, so researchers have gained a more complete molecular understanding of heterochromatin and euchromatin structure. Now, it is clear that DNA in both types of chromatin is packaged into nucleosomes. Okay, but before I proceed, let me make it clear that this packaging at the euchromatin and the heterochromatin region varies a lot, and that is why we get this dense packing and the loose packing. Okay, please remember. So we know that DNA in both types, the chromatin is packaged into the nucleosomes. Now the difference where it is coming. So it is the how the nucleosomes in these different chromosomal regions are assembled into larger assemblies. So what does it mean? It is the difference in the packing at the euchromatin at the heterochromatin region which is actually making the difference. Okay. So heterochromatin regions are composed of nucleosomal DNA having higher order structures that result in a barrier to the gene expression. Okay, whereas in the case of euchromatic regions, it is found in less organized assembly. So right now what we are going to talk and discuss here in this session is that how exactly this high order chromatin structure is achieved in the heterochromatin region, how these nucleosomes are tightly packed. Okay, that is higher order structure. It means what? It means that along with the nucleosome, there are other proteins which are responsible for making this compaction more and more tight, okay, as compared to the euchromatin region. So this is what we're going to discuss here. And guys, from here onwards, you have to remember the names of the proteins which are involved in those, okay. Okay, so histone H1 binds to the linker DNA between the nucleosomes. So this we know. Now, how exactly this is binding, that is more important over here to understand. Okay, so once the nucleosomes are formed, so please remember in the previous lecture, हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं कि न्यूक्लियोसोम कैसे असेंबल होता है. सो लेट मी जस्ट रिमाइंड यू. सो फर्स्ट इट इज द टेट्रामर फॉर्म्ड बिटवीन द H3 एंड H4. ठीक है, H3H4 का डाइमर is going to merge with the H3H4 का डाइमर. ठीक है, it forms a tetramer. Now to the tetramer your DNA is going to wrap. Now once this wrapping has been done, then क्या करता है कि आपका H2A H2B जो डाइमर है उसको वो रिक्रूट करता है. Now at the end, the entire nucleosomes are formed. Okay, so you have got the octamer core histone proteins and wrapped DNA is there. So how much DNA is being wrapped? Around 147 base pairs. Okay, so that is a rough estimation we have got, and this has been proved with the experimental setup also. So that is also we have discussed in the previous lectures. Okay. So once the nucleosomes are formed, the next step in the packaging of DNA is the binding of histone H1. So we know that there are 5 histone proteins, right? So we have got H2A, H2B, H3 and H4. So this is our 5th histone proteins which is involved in nucleosome packing. ठीक है, अब H1 interacts with the linker DNA between the nucleosomes, further tightening the association of the DNA with the nucleosome. So आप देख सकते हैं, we have got the exit DNA and the entry DNA, right? So एक तरफ से DNA आपका enter करता है, wrap करता है and exit करता है. It can be the either way around. You can take it in either way. Now what happens is your H1 histone proteins is there. Now that comes. Now you can see that how nicely it is actually taking one end of the DNA and making it tight association with the core histones. तो एक तरह से क्या कर रहा है, जैसे ऐसे एंड निकले हुए एक एंड को उसने ऐसे रैप कर दिया है. ठीक है, तो इससे क्या होगा, आपका न्यूक्लियोसोम जो है डीएनए से और टाइटली बाउंड हो गया है. ठीक है, सो दैट इज द फंक्शन ऑफ योर H1 histone protein. Now the experiment, in order to understand this, so how to detect the presence of H1 linker? तो इसके लिए अगेन आप क्या कर सकते हैं, already we have discussed in the previous lecture that about the micrococal nucleosization. So हमने उस टाइम भी यही बोला था, wherever the DNAs are exposed, that is proteins are not present, the nucleus will go and attack and make the digestion, right? So आप उसी तरह से if you get, see, अगर आपको 147 बेस पेयर मिल रहा है, इसका मतलब क्या, इट इज द डीएनए व्हिच इज रैप्ड अराउंड द कोर हिस्टोन प्रोटीन्स. ठीक है, नाउ सपोज इफ यू गेट मोर बियॉन्ड द 147 बेस पेयर प्रोटेक्टेड बाय द कोर हिस्टोन्स, एडिशन ऑफ हिस्टोन H1 will give you additional 20 base pair of the DNA. So अगर आपको ये additional 20 base pair मिल गए, it means that along with your wrapped DNA, ठीक है, extra 20 base pair of DNA अगर आपको मिल रहा है, it means that additional protein is also present. Apart from the core histone proteins, you have also have the presence of H1 histone proteins. तो ये एक तरीका हो गया. Now this is one method by which you can actually confirm. ठीक है, ये हो गया आपका agarose gel electrophoresis method से हो गया है. So where actually you will check the, along with the 147, if you have got extra 20 base pair, you can actually confirm the presence of H1 because this association has been made by the H1. Now दूसरा तरीका क्या हो सकता है, अगर आपको थोड़ा सा भी tools and techniques का idea है, you can actually guess. So at the end of this video, I'll tell you how exactly you can actually get the answer for this. This is first method. What will be the second method? And for this answer, I'll tell you at the end of the video. Okay. I just hope I don't forget. So moving on. So histone H1, it has got the unusual property. So it has got the unusual property of binding the two distinct regions of the DNA duplex. ठीक है, already हमने यहाँ पे बात किया. So you can see that over here it is making actually two contacts. So the sites of H1 binding are located asymmetrically related to the nucleosomes. Of course, it has to be asymmetrically because you are actually going to make it tight association. आप आधा इधर and आधा उधर नहीं ले सकते. So that's why it cannot be symmetrical. It has to be asymmetrical. Now, one of the two regions bound by the H1 is the linker DNA at the end of the nucleosome. So you can see that over here at the end of the nucleosome it is using. The second site of the DNA binding is in the middle of the associated 147 base pair. ठीक है? Let me make it more clear. So one we are talking about at the end of the DNA. So this is the DNA end. और दूसरा कौन सा बन रहा है? यहाँ पे जो आपका सेंट्रल पार्ट हो रहा है डीएनए का, जो रैप किया है हिस्टोन प्रोटीन्स को, उसने जो रैप किया है उसके सेंट्रल पार्ट में है वो. ठीक है, सो दैट इज द एसोसिएटेड 147 बेस पेयर. बाय ब्रिंगिंग दीस टू रीजन्स ऑफ द डीएनए क्लोज, H1 binding increases the length of the DNA wrapped tightly around the histone octamer. तो अभी मैंने क्या किया है, ऐसा एक एंड, दो एंड निकले हुए हैं. ठीक है, एक एंड को मैंने पकड़ के उसको सेंट्रल के साथ ऐसे जोड़ दिया. सो इससे क्या होगा, और tightly packed हो गया वो. ठीक है, so that is the function of your H1 histone proteins. Now H1 binding produces more defined angle of DNA entry and exit from the nucleosome. Now this is really again important because it is going to give you a difference in the appearances. ठीक है? So now how it is going to show? So under the electron microscope, you can see that it takes zigzag appearance. ऐसे 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 ऐसा कुछ दिखेगा. ठीक है? I'll show you the image. Wait. So the angles of entry and the exit observed vary substantially depending on the condition. अगर आप salt concentration या pH या दूसरे proteins सब इसमें बढ़ा देंगे तो क्या होगा? The zigzag pattern will be different. Okay. Now, so we say that that defined angle is around 20 degree. Related to the diad axis, this would result in a pattern in which nucleosomes would alternate on either side of the central region of linker DNA bound by the histone H1. So if you see the figure, actually, let me show you the figure, then it will be clear. क्या कहना चाहते हैं? See, this is the first one where you don't have the that is the absence. Okay, यहाँ पे नहीं present है आपका H1. So you can see that the alternate is loosely. एक यहाँ पे है, एक यहाँ पे, एक यहाँ पे, यहाँ पे है, ऐसे 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 बहुत loosely packed है. कहीं पे भी कोई defined structure नहीं है. The moment you add the presence, that is H1 यहाँ पे है plus, ठीक है, यहाँ पे minus है. आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे पैटर्न आ गया है, एक zigzag पैटर्न आ गया है इस तरह से. Okay, now this is why because H1 is making the tight wrapping of the DNA around the core histone protein, and hence what is happening, आप जितना ज्यादा इसको टाइट करोगे उससे क्या होगा, स्पेस कम लिया जाएगा. ठीक है? एंड फाइनली इनसाइड द न्यूक्लियस योर एंटायर DNA is finally compacted and condensed and kept. ठीक है? अब इस तरह से भी अगर रखा रहता तो क्या होता, अगेन इट इज टेकिंग सो मच ऑफ स्पेस. जितना ज्यादा स्कैटर रहेगा उतना ज्यादा वो स्पेस लेगा. जितना ज्यादा उसको आप टाइटली बाउंड करके रखेंगे, रैप करके रखेंगे, उतना कम स्पेस लेगा. ये उसी तरह से जैसे आपने कमरे में अपने कपड़े फैला रखे हैं, आप उसको फोल्ड करके रखेंगे तो कम स्पेस लेंगे, फैला के रखोगे तो पूरा स्पेस लेगा. तो आप क्या करोगे, बिस्तर उठा के चेयर पे रखा, हाँ, और सुबह उठ के चेयर से उठा के बिस्तर पे रखा. उससे अच्छा क्या होगा, रैप करके फोल्ड करके आप उसको अलमारी में रख दीजिए, दोनों स्पेस खाली मिलेंगे, आपका बिस्तर भी आपका चेयर भी. राइट? तो इट्स द सेम थिंग ओवर हियर. तो आप जितना ज्यादा इसको रैप करोगे उतना कम स्पेस लेगा. एंड दिस इज हाउ दिस कॉम्पैक्शन और द कंडेंसेशन ऑफ द DNA इज एक्चुअली अचीव्ड एंड इट इज प्रेजेंट इनसाइड द न्यूक्लियस. ठीक है? अदरवाइज ये पॉसिबल ही नहीं होता. ओके, now how exactly it is doing that zigzag thing which I was mentioning right now, how exactly H1 is helping achieving that. So you can see that over here again it is taking one end of the DNA and the central portion. Okay, one end of the DNA, central portion, one end of the DNA, central portion, one end of the DNA, central portion. So kitna tight ho gaya, and because of this what happens, the distance between these and this and this and this, right, distance between 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4 कम हो गया है. इसके वजह से you can see that it looks like something like this, ऐसे zigzag pattern. Okay, I hope this is clear to everyone. Okay, so now nucleosome arrays can form more complex structure. So अब तक हमने इसे zigzag की बात की. ठीक है? अब हम उसको और कॉम्पैक्ट करने जा रहे हैं, और उसका जो स्पेस ऑक्यूपाइड है बाय दिस स्ट्रक्चर, ओनली द न्यूक्लियोसोमल पार्ट इज देयर. राइट? अब उसको हम और कॉम्पैक्ट करने जा रहे हैं. सो इट इज गोइंग टू टेक अगेन लेस स्पेस. सो बाइंडिंग ऑफ H1 स्टेबलाइजेस हायर ऑर्डर क्रोमैटिन स्ट्रक्चर. तो as I mentioned in this session that we are going to talk about how the higher order chromatin structure is achieved. So first step हो गया है, that is H1 binding. ठीक है? Now in the test tube, if you increase the salt concentration and the addition of H1 results in the nucleosomal DNA forming a 30 nanometer fiber. इसका मतलब क्या? Again जो इतना zigzag pattern था, right? अब वो जाके ऐसे ऐसे से सोलेनाइड स्ट्रक्चर बन जाएगा. ठीक है? एंड दैट सोलेनाइड स्ट्रक्चर इज अगेन वेरी मच कॉम्पैक्टेड, 30 nanometer fiber बनेगा. Let's see in the next figure. Okay, so there are two models are there. So first model says about the solenoid model and the other model is about the zigzag model. Okay, so first let's talk about the solenoid model. Okay, so the nucleosomal DNA forms a superhelical structure, okay, having 6 nucleosomes per turn with the helical pitch of 11 nanometer. Guys, this sentence is very important because न्यूमेरिकल्स पूछ सकते हैं. ठीक है? तो आपको क्या याद रखना है, सोलेनॉइड मॉडल में 6 न्यूक्लियोसोम्स हैं पर टर्न. ठीक है, और हेलिकल पिच यानी कि क्या, एक राइज कितना है, around 11 nanometer. ठीक है, so guys this is very important, please remember this point. Now in this model the flat surface on either face of the histone octamer discs are adjacent to each other. ठीक है, आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे एक फ्लैट सरफेस, एक फ्लैट सरफेस, ऐसा ऐसा है, तो एक दूसरे को फेस कर रहे हैं, राइट, दे आर एडजेसेंट टू ईच अदर. ओके, यहाँ पे भी देखिए, this is facing this, this is facing this, this is facing this one. So it is like, अगर ये मेरा न्यूक्लियोसोमल डीएनए है, मैंने इसको कवर किया है, ये मेरा दूसरा है, सो इसके दोनों एडजेसेंट साइड जो है वो एक दूसरे को ऐसे फेस कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, now and the DNA surface of the nucleosomes forms the accessible surface of the superhelix. अब क्या है, जितना डीएनए रिमेनिंग है वो आपका हेलिकल स्ट्रक्चर ले रहा है. ठीक है, the linker DNA is buried in the center of the superhelix. You can see since linker DNA यहाँ पे present रहते हैं आपके, right, because since it is facing the adjacent to each other, linker DNA आपका बीच में बरी हो गया है. Rather the linker DNA circles around the central axis as the DNA moves from one nucleosome to the next. ठीक है, now let's talk about the next model, that is zigzag model. So it is based on the zigzag pattern of nucleosomes formed upon H1 addition. Now in this case, the 30 nanometer fiber looks like zigzag nucleosome arrays are present. Okay. Now in this, it requires linker DNA to pass through the central axis of the fiber in a relatively straight form. इसका क्या मतलब हो रहा है? In that case, in the solenoid model, the H1 linker was buried. Okay. Whereas in this case, in the zigzag model, it is passing from the central axis of the जो zigzag form बना है, zigzag model बना है. ठीक है, so longer DNA favors this conformation. Now because the average linker DNA varies between different species, in the previous lecture we discussed that this linker DNA का length आपका vary करेगा from species to species, और इसी वजह से क्या होगा, जो 30 nanometer fiber जो बना है, it is not necessary it is going to be same in all the species because it is depending on the H1 linker. अब H1 ही आपका वेरी कर रहा है तो ऑब्वियसली द 30 नैनोमीटर फाइबर जो है आपका zigzag मॉडल वो भी आपका वेरी करेगा फ्रॉम स्पीशीज टू स्पीशीज. ठीक है, नाउ दिस इज हाउ योर zigzag लुक. सो अगेन यू कैन सी ऐसे 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 ऐसे, सो इट इज गोइंग लाइक दैट. ओके, एंड आपका लिंकर डीएनए आपका जो है जो सेंटर से आपका पास कर रहा है. So these are the differences between the two models which are proposed for the nucleosomal more compaction, that is the 30 nanometer fiber. So in the both cases, चाहे आप solenoid model ले लो या zigzag model ले लो, in both the cases it is forming the 30 nanometer fiber. ठीक है, I hope this is clear to everyone. बिकॉज यहाँ से जो कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी है ऑफ द हायर स्ट्रक्चर, हायर ऑर्डर स्ट्रक्चर जो फॉर्मेशन है क्रोमैटिन का, थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट होता जाएगा, तो आपको बहुत सारी चीजें आपको याद रखनी पड़ेंगे. तो लेट अस जस्ट समराइज. अभी तक आपका न्यूक्लियोसोम बना है, H1 लिंकर ने उसको और हायर ऑर्डर स्ट्रक्चर दे दिया है. ठीक है, अभी उसके बाद वो रहता है अराउंड 10 to 11 नैनोमीटर स्ट्रक्चर. उसके बाद व्हेन इट फॉर्म्स the 30 nanometer fiber, so it can be a solenoid model or it can be a zigzag model. ठीक है, तो अभी तक हम आगे हैं 30 nanometer fiber तक. Okay, so the histone amino terminal tails, one second. हाँ, so the histone amino terminal tails are required for the formation of the 30 nanometer fiber. So चाहे वो solenoid model हो या zigzag model हो, histone amino terminal tails is again required. So if you remember from the previous lecture series, so I have discussed about that. It is also helping in the nucleosomal assembly. ठीक है, and if they are exposed, it can be cleaved by the proteases. Okay, so the core histones lacking their amino terminal cells are incapable of forming 30 nanometer fibers. अगर protease treatment मिल गया है by chance by गलती से, तो क्या होगा? It cannot go for the compaction. ठीक है, because these are going to stabilize the nucleosomes. So this model is supported by the 3D crystal structure of the nucleosomes, which shows that each of the amino terminals of H2A 3, 4 interacts with the adjacent nucleosomal cores in the crystal lattice. तो इसमें क्या, इसका क्या मतलब हुआ? So whenever we make a crystal, जो भी बंदा है जो बायोफिजिक्स में इंटरेस्टेड है, so they the structural crystallography में इंटरेस्टेड है, so if you say that this is one crystal, ठीक है, तो आपको मालूम है क्रिस्टल में क्या होंगे, बहुत सारे आपके सेल रहते हैं, लैटिस रहते हैं, तो अगर एक न्यूक्लियोसोम यहाँ पे फॉर्म हुआ है, ठीक है, उसका एमिनो टर्मिनल्स एंड द बाजू वाले का एमिनो टर्मिनल्स आर एक्चुअली इंटरैक्टिंग with each other, okay, and stabilizing the structure. Got it? Okay. So the interaction between the positively charged amino terminals of histone H4 and guys please यहाँ पे याद रखिए, थोड़ा सा important है इसको याद रखना कि यहाँ पे हम बात कर रहे हैं पॉजिटिवली चार्ज एमिनो टर्मिनस ऑफ H4, ठीक है, हम यहाँ पे बात कर रहे हैं H4 का पॉजिटिवली चार्ज इज इंटरैक्टिंग विद द नेगेटिव चार्ज ऑफ द H2A is important for the 30 nanometer fiber formation. ठीक है. Now the residues of H2A that interacts with H4 are conserved across the eukaryotic organisms. ठीक है. But they are not involved in DNA binding or formation of the histone octamer. Since ये conserve है, so आप देख सकते हैं इस तरह का nucleosomal formation it is going to be conserved in the eukaryotic species. तो आप एक जैसा same structure you can find out in the these species. Okay. Yeah. Now, further compaction of DNA involves loops of nucleosomal DNA. Now we are going to talk about more compaction. ठीक है? So अब तक 30 nanometer fiber जब तक बना है, अब तक 40 fold, यानी कि 40 times the DNA has been compacted. Okay? Now, still it is insufficient to fit 1 or 2 meter of DNA into the nucleus, which is having around 10 raised to minus 5 मीटर क्रॉस. तो ये बहुत डिफिकल्ट होगा इतने बड़े डीएनए को इतनी छोटी सी जगह में फिट करना. तो इसलिए और क्या करना होगा, आपको इसको और फोल्ड करना होगा इसको, ठीक है. तो अराउंड 10,000 टाइम्स इट गोस. तो टिल नाउ हमने सिर्फ 40 टाइम्स किए हैं, अब इसको हमें और करना है. So this folded structure of 30 nanometer fiber forms loops of 40 to 90 kilo base pair that are held together and with the help of the proteinaceous structures referred to as nucleus scaffold. See, till now the proteins which were involved in the DNA wrapping or the packing was nucleosomes. अब additional proteins आ गए हैं, those are called nucleus scaffold. Okay, now let's talk about these nucleus scaffold. So how exactly this is? So you can see that a chromatin fiber जो हम कहते हैं, हमें जो दिखता है, ठीक है, it looks like something like this, and you can see that how many loops are there, right? So around 6 to 7 loops are there, और हर एक loop you can see how nicely it is compacted with the nucleosomes, and this is your open DNA, naked DNA, and हर एक ये portion आपका nucleosomes के साथ है. So naked DNA with the nucleosomes it becomes 10 nanometer fiber, और जब इसको और compact करते हैं 30 nanometer fiber होता है, ठीक है. Now, what are these nucleus scaffold proteins? So there are two classes. The first one is the topoisomerase 2. Okay, this is important because we know that topoisomerase 2 का क्या function है. So whenever there is a DNA damage, it actually makes a 2 cuts. Okay, 2 cuts on the double-stranded DNA, and it is helping in the repair. So the same thing is there, which is actually maintaining the structure also. So treating the cells with drugs that result in DNA breaks at the sites of topo 2 DNA binding generates DNA fragments that are around 50 kb in size. Now this is similar to the size range observed for the limited nucleus dilation of the chromosomes, and it suggests that topo 2 may be a part of the mechanism that holds the DNA at the base of these loops. So जो भी loop हमने देखा है, ठीक है, so that loop is again associated with the other proteins like topoisomerase 2. So in addition, the presence of topo 2 at the bottom of each loop would ensure that the loops are topologically isolated from one another. नहीं तो क्या होगा, ये लूप जो ऐसे हमने देखा भी अराउंड 6 to 7 लूप्स विद देयर, अगर इसको हमने अलग अलग नहीं रखा, सो व्हाट विल हैपन, दे विल अगेन एंटेंगल विद देमसेल्व्स, ठीक है, एंड देयर आर अगेन चांसेस दैट द डीएनए माइट ब्रेक. अब इतने ब्रेक्स हो जाएंगे, सो फाइनली व्हाट हैपन, द क्रोमोसोम्स टोटली गेट्स ब्रोकन and it will result in the death of the cells. So in order to avoid all this mess, topoisomerase 2 is present over there, which is making or which is ensuring that these loops are topologically separated from each other. ठीक है, तो ये बहुत बड़ा काम है. Yes, okay, so I hope this is clear. Now, the second is the SMC proteins. So SMC proteins are what? They are the structural maintenance proteins of the chromosomes. So this also we have discussed in the previous lectures. आपने पढ़ाई होगा cohescence and condensance. So these are those SMC proteins which are found as the another components of the nuclear scaffold proteins. So they help in keep or condensing the chromosomes and holding the sister chromatids together after the chromosome duplication. So we know the roles of these SMC proteins called condensins and cohesins. Okay? So this already we have discussed in the previous lecture. Yeah. So this is the another important topic, and yeah, last one. Histone variants alter the nucleosomal function. Already we have discussed that there are variations or the variants or different forms of histone proteins are found, right? So when these different forms of proteins are present, so obviously what will happen? The nucleosome formation is also going to be different. The function which is shown by the nucleosomes are also going to be different, right? Okay, so the core histones are among the most conserved eukaryotic proteins. Therefore, nucleosomes formed by these proteins are very similar in all the eukaryotes, but we also found the variants. For example, H2A.X is a variant of 2A and it is widely distributed in the eukaryotic nucleosomes. Now, what happens when chromosomal DNA is broken? Let us say that there is a double-strand break. Now, H2A.X located adjacent to the break is phosphorylated at the serine residue. Okay? Now, this is not possible if suppose normal H2A was present. Now, since we have got the serine phosphorylated part of the H2A.X, then it will be recognized by the DNA repair enzymes, leading to their localization at the site of DNA damage. So, इससे क्या होगा? As soon as there is a double-stranded break, it is going to get phosphorylated at the serine residue. ठीक है? It is going to recognize. और जब यहाँ पे additional phosphorylation हो रहा है, so what will happen? The DNA repair enzymes will actually detect this malfunction. So it will come and repair the DNA, and it will carry on the normal function then. Okay. Yeah, another one is the histone H3 variant, which is called CENP-A. So CENP is called centromeric protein. Okay. So now in this chromosomal region, CENP-A replaces the histone H3 subunits in the nucleosome. Now this is important because whenever during the cell cycle, the mitosis, the kinetochore is there, right? We know that the kinetochore makes an attachment with the centromere so that it can pull the sister chromatids into the opposite directions, right? So this is possible when the H3 subunits are replaced by the CENP-A proteins, okay? Okay, so it is unlikely that incorporation of CENP-A changes the core structure of the nucleosome. So there's the variants, right? And it has got the extended tail. Now this extended tail is actually the binding sites for the another protein. What just now I have discussed, the kinetochore. So on the kinetochore, we have got the another protein called CENP-C. So all these two together actually comes together and helps in the helps in the movement of the sister chromatids in the opposite direction, right? So consistent with this interaction being critical for the kinetochore formation, if there is a loss of CENP-A, interferes with the association of the kinetochore components with the centromeric DNA. So over there also, if this is not present, what will happen? Your spindle fibers are unable to carry out the separation of the sister chromatids. Okay, so even this is important. Yeah, so you can see over here. So normally we have got the H3 proteins replaced with the CENP-A. So they have got the extended amino terminals are there. So these will go and bind with the kinetochore protein. So this kinetochore proteins are nothing to which actually the kinetochore will attach. ठीक है? So kinetochore पे क्या होगा आपका? This is your CENP-A. So kinetochore में होगा CENP-C. So when these two interact, then only the spindle fibers are able to separate the components or the sister chromatids into the opposite direction. Okay. So guys, yes, that's all for today's. I hope you like this lecture series and I understood कि आज हमने क्या-क्या पढ़ा, क्या-क्या नहीं पढ़ा. So stay tuned with the Exosphere Academy. Maybe 3 to 4 more lectures are there, and with that I can complete this chapter and we can start with the DNA replication. So thank you guys. If you really like my channel, please share and subscribe and let your friend circle also to know. Thank you guys. Have a nice day.